Good morning, Chairman Matz, board members Metzger and Frizzell. We're here before you to recommend NCUA board approval of a final rule governing capital planning and stress testing for federally insured credit unions with assets of $10 billion or more. I want to thank my colleagues at the table, Lisa Henderson, Dale Klein, and Jeremy Taylor, who were instrumental in reaching the point we are at today. While credit unions were specifically not included in the stress testing requirements of the Dodd-Frank Act, these credit unions pose systemic risk to the share insurance fund. This rule does not imply that the policies, practices, or services offered by these credit unions are inherently of higher risk. We learned a valuable lesson through the corporate crisis that should a credit union of this size fail, it has significant impact on the fund and federally insured credit unions. Thus, this rule speaks to ensuring these credit unions remain safe and sound for the years to come. The final rule is composed essentially of two parts, capital planning and stress testing. They are certainly related activities, but they play different roles. As Jeremy and Dale will speak to in more detail, they have distinct provisions. Capital planning speaks to how a credit union will set forth policies and practices to forecast risks, establish risk limits, and discern strategic initiatives to ensure the credit union can weather future challenging business cycles. It is largely focused on qualitative factors. In contrast, stress testing is more quantitative in nature. It serves as an independent assessment of a covered credit union's financial stability under economic stress. The board asked for a specific comment on two aspects of the proposed rule, which was issued last October. First, the proposed rule provided that NCUA would conduct stress tests on each credit union so it has an independent assessment. The board asked if credit unions should be required to conduct their own stress test. There was broad support for credit union-run stress tests by commenters. However, many commenters further recommended that NCUA lead stress testing solely with the credit unions, with NCUA validating the results. The final rule adopts the proposed rule's provision as we believe it is essential, especially in the initial years of implementation, that NCUA obtain an independent assessment of risk. This approach will also construe an added benefit of being able to compare results across all covered credit unions through a consistent modeling paradigm. A second question asked if NCUA should publish the stress test results. After much deliberation, the final rule does not include a provision for disclosing the results. While the agency supports transparency, publishing stress test results requires proper due diligence and care to ensure the correct message is conveyed. If results were misinterpreted, they could cause undue harm to the institution. Such is the basis for not disclosing supervisory examinations or the CAMEL ratings. This concern is elevated given the rule is the initial foray for credit union stress testing. Banks were operating under a stress testing paradigm for many years prior to the recent requirements to publish results. Further, many banks have public equity within their capital bases, and the equity holders are a primary audience for the result reporting, not the depositors. Accordingly, with the credit union capital based on profits instead of external equity, we determined that disclosure would speak to an audience that does not exist. I will now